My mother didn't believe it for a moment, that he did anything to me. She couldn't understand. She knew that I hated him. She knew that I disliked him because he wasn't my father. She was afraid that if she spoke out, that her children were going to be taken away from her and she was going to be put in jail. She's not trying to go to jail, and she definitely doesn't want her children taken away from her.
I was aware that Alyssa didn't really care for John. Alyssa was a daddy's girl and upset about the divorce. When Alyssa first came to me and told me the accusation, we were in the kitchen. You know, Mom, I just want to let you know John was touching me. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, he molested me. And she walked out of the kitchen. I honestly didn't know what to believe. Knowing John, I didn't ever think that he was capable of it. Once the cops showed up and started questioning me, I never asked Alyssa about it again. The cop told me that if I did not cooperate, they could take the kids away from me. There was no evidence collected. Alyssa started embellishing her story. She claimed that it happened at my mother's house. The police never went to either one of my parents, not ever. They totally took her word for it. Alyssa started with, he touched me, he molested me. And when the trials started, he was raping her daily. There was never any indication, not in her attitude, not in her body language. None of it added up. I was in the courtroom when the verdict was read. And I put my head down on the row in front of me and just burst into tears because I knew that John was not guilty. Why would Alyssa lie? I've always loved John to this day. He deserves his freedom.
It's important when a child comes forward and says that someone is hurting them, molesting them, abusing them, that someone stops what they're doing, sits down, looks them in the eye, listens to them, hears them, believes them until they find out something to the contrary. Did you give proper attention to your daughter at the time?
Probably not. I was busy, and her attitude was just like she just tossed it out there and okay, and that was it.
You didn't believe her?
When she first said it, no. When the police showed up, it made me sick to think that I had missed it. I blew it. I'm her mother. And then as time went on, then I went back to my initial feeling of this can't be happening. This is not true.
And you believe today that it's not true?
I believe today that it's not true.
And you understand what I'm saying. When children come forward like that, they must be taken seriously.
Yes.
Because you can't leave children unprotected. And when they come forward, we have to take it seriously. We have to believe what they say, and then we have to go about a very responsible investigation. I would rather falsely believe 999 children than fail to believe a truthful child and leave them to the hands of a predator. But your next step is to investigate and find out whether or not what they're saying is true, and that's possible. And you kind of flipped that. You didn't, then you did, and then you started investigating and thought, this is not credible. Was there any physical evidence?
No.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.